Hi, my name is Robert Cordini. I'm actually from Nutanix, the Alliance Engineering Program. This video is made for the CitrixReady team to demonstrate how ShareFile runs on Acropolis Hypervisor using Acropolis File Services. As you can see here from the screen, this is my ShareFile portal. I'm actually going to log in here. Oops, wrong password. Always got to have the right password. And once I log in, you're going to notice that I have logged into the portal. I have some shared folders. And these shared folders, if I can go to the advanced properties of them, are actually being stored on a zone, which is actually local down on-premise in our data center, in our lab. As you can see here, if I go to Settings, Admin Settings, Storage Zones, you'll notice that I have a customer managed storage zone, and if I click on it, you'll see there's usage there. And then the big other thing is, if you notice, is I have a healthy responding storage center that is responding at this particular address. So and then you can see these are the folders that are being synced down, and you can see some of them have some actual size to them, a little bit of size to them. So that's actually the ShareFile portal side of things. Let me switch over to where the ShareFile install is. So this is actually the ShareFile server. Just to kind of give you a little context, it's running on this Nutanix cluster. It's an AHV cluster. It has 4 nodes over 1 block and has plenty of CPU and memory. If I go to the VM tab and click on Table, you'll notice there's a ShareFile storage zones controller, and that's where I've built it. And that's the VM that I'm actually on. This VM, the VM on, I'm just happening to be browsing on the same machine. But you can see that I have 6 gigs of RAM and 2 CPUs, and that's the current CPU usage right now. And then you can see I gave it 100 gigs, which if you look at the C drive on this machine, whoops, wrong thing, 99.6, that's just because of the formatting, but 100 gigs. So that's kind of the roll down on that. There's also AFS. AFS is our Acropolis File Services, which is basically our scale-out file server. And we are essentially putting all the ShareFile data on that, Acropolis File Services. And you can see there's a share called Home. And then you're going to notice there's an actual file server name with this name called ShareFile, but spelled differently, misspelled when we were building it. And then if you notice, there are 3 open connections, and you can see what the open connections are, etc. So let's move on, and I will show you the ShareFile data. So as you can see here on the network, I have the UNC path is that particular file server, home, ShareFile data, and you'll notice there's all the ShareFile data. And if I actually go to the PC, you'll notice that I'm mapping that on the S drive, and then under that you'll see ShareFile data. Okay, so that kind of puts that piece together. Now let's log into the ShareFile local portal, I guess you want to call it. So I log in, and you'll notice it's called NRPC, which we saw up online earlier. You'll notice the host name is ShareFile S2C, which is the same name up there. That's the host file name. ShareFile is enabled. You're going to notice this network share location is using this location, which is the AFS, Nutanix Acropolis File Services share. And it's logging in with Active Directory credentials. I also have storage zones open for network shares and SharePoint. Moving on, if I click on monitoring, you'll notice that everything is set up properly here. All the permissions, file copy status, upload status, connectivity to the management, etc. On top of that, we did use a real certificate when we configured this for ShareFile. And if I click on server certificates, we'd actually use nutanixready.nutanix.com, which basically matches what's in the ShareFile portal. So this is a brief rundown of exactly how the setup is set up with ShareFile controller running on a VM on Acropolis hypervisor. This server is actually running, just FYI, Windows 2012 R2 fully patched as a VM, and then I obviously installed the storage zones controller on here, installed the IIS website, and then once I did that, I configured the file shares through this application right here, and then Bob's your uncle. we have everything running in ShareFile. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to NutanixReady at Nutanix.com or me at robc at Nutanix.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. Again, this is a brief demonstration video of how Citrix ShareFile is actually running, proof of concept running on Nutanix Acropolis hypervisor with Acropolis File Services, which is hosting the ShareFile data.